If you can, just ignore the sound in the background and focus on what I'm trying to say because I have people here. The new abode, the new pad. I've been talking about it for weeks and got it. I'm here. Eventually, I'll move the computer to a different and the webcam to a different, spot in the crib. But for now, this is where it's going to be. Um, Vera and Shogun, I have to apologize. I just feel the need, the desperate need to apologize to Brandon Vera. I actually, at one point during the, was it second or third round, I actually thought, I was kind of pulling for Brandon Vera to win that fight. I mean, he really put up, a war against Shogun. I use the terms a lot, like the Liddell syndrome. For Vanderlei Silva, like he should retire. His chin's not as good as it used to be. Forrest Griffin, he's just not up to. It's just not the same Griffin, and I gave Brandon Vera, Elliot the Fire Marshal, and coming off an ugly split decision win off him, and then getting Shogun, it just seemed to me like it was a for sure, almost a setup, but it wasn't. I mean, Brandon Vera came through in flying colors. To me, Brandon Vera is a great fighter. He's a Muay Thai fighter. Anyone that's in the UFC that fights in the UFC is a great fighter. I mean, in order to even have to get signed to the UFC, you have to have some great accolades. Some excellent accolades. My top three fighters right now are I love Johnny Bones Jones. I love Anderson Silva. I love Chael Sonnen. But yeah, my guys are John Jones, Nick Diaz, and third one. Shit, what's his name? What's the third fighter? It's always Jones and Diaz. What's the third fighter? The third fighter. Awesome. Oh, that's right. The winner of the night, Lyoto Machida. Machida was my guy for a while. After Liddell had his reign at 205, thereon came a guy named Machida, and there was this interesting, and Joe Rogan even deemed it the Machida era, and I liked Machida, so that was my guy for a while, Machida, so, it was the Machida era to me, I liked it, so, yeah, so it was the Machida era, and right now he has a chance against John Jones to make it, you know, possibly the Machida era again. So he was definitely the most impressive tonight. But the topic of this video is Brandon Vera. He used his strikes. He gave Shogun everything that he had. He gave him, Shogun gas and Shogun. Here we go. The BJ Penn syndrome, which is, gassing. He gassed. The BJ Penn has an ultimate resume of gassing during fights, and it seemed like that's what Shogun. He gassed against Coleman. He gassed against Griffin in the first fight, and it seemed like he gassed again tonight. So we'll see. We'll see what's in Shogun's future, and we'll see we'll see what's up with Machida and Jones too. I can't wait to see Machida and Jones fight again, having Jones get past Dan Henderson. Now, if Dan Henderson lands that big right, the H-bomb on John Jones, he's in some serious trouble. I've never seen Jones get hit harder or clearer or cleaner than Machida's ever hit. And Machida has knockout power, but not Hendo power. Hendo has power. Hendo has, pride power. That one of the saddest things about Dana White kind of having a monopoly over the whole MMA thing is there's no pride. There's no pride. He kind of collapsed pride. He could have kept pride as a whole separate entity, just kind of like he did Strikeforce, but he didn't. He chose to fold pride and take their fighters, and I'm against it. But again, who the fuck am I unless I chant on Twitter 1,000 times, So, yeah, I'm just not with it, I'm just not with it. But that's the way things go, and yeah, that's the way things go. So it was awesome. You know, it was an awesome night of fights. I owe a huge apology to Brandon the Truth. Vera performed with flying colors tonight. Awesome, excellent fights. I mean, every fight. I mean, Mike Swick coming through. I really didn't see Swick winning a fight against Darkness Johnson after a 2-year layoff. I really didn't see that happening. But he did it, man. He didn't only do it, but he knocked his ass out. So it was a good fight. I saw him, you know, I saw him wilting, I saw him coming back, I saw him losing, I saw him winning. It was a back and forth, you know, just you know, what you'd expect out of an excellent MMA fight. I'm tired, you're tired. Let's get this over with into bed. The next fight after who is there? Swick. Oh, the Zon. Joe Lozon. I think he what did he do? He tried, yeah, triangle with the laid in that triangle. Jamie Varner basically laid right into, just laid right into that triangle choke. And, you know, Lozon being a submission specialist, you know, he fell right into his trap. And worked out pretty well for Joe Lozon. You know, we've always been pro Lozon. You know, I love Joe Lozon. I think he's a great guy. He's one of those like Kenny Florian type of cats. You know, like those nerves that can just beat the fuck out of you. Just, you know, he's some kid that I would push against a locker, and then, you know, after I pushed him against a locker, it would just beat the fuck out of me. You know, just crumple my face. So, uh, yeah, you know, Joe Lozon, excellent triangle submission win for Joe Lozon against Jamie Varner, which sets Jamie Varner back. And Joe Lozon a little back up. Joe Lozon seems to me is like the ultimate gatekeeper. I think Melvin Gillard has a new opponent. I can't remember who it is. Was it Donald Cerrone? I think it's Donald Cerrone. I think it's Cerrone versus Gillard. I think that's what's up next. So I'm gonna love to see that. You know, they're both gatekeepers, and Joe Lozano being the ultimate gatekeeper. That has to suck, but you know, someone's gotta do it. And yeah, you know, the entire night UFC on Fox 4, I was wrong. It was far better than UFC 149. That card was just, you know, Faber versus, you know, Faber, Barao, Barao outpointing Faber in each and every round. Sad to me. Happy for Brazil. So yeah, so let's just make this thing over and done with. And um, thank you for watching. And again, much more to come.